Well, shame on me, shame on me. You are officially an incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense. Incense and Common Sense, the live streams that we do here on YouTube and on the Alert Zone TV. Soon, hopefully, we'll be going to some other platforms. I got that in the work. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. If you're in America or you're an American that may be abroad on vacation or what have you, or if you relocated to somewhere else, happy Independence Day to you /2A Day. We can kind of integrate those two things, the birth of the country, and since the 2A community, integrate the 2A into that. So shout out to everybody. I hope you guys and girls are safe and are being safe wherever you are. I know the night is still young. It is 7 o'clock Central Time, p.m. I know it's going to be fireworks shows all over the country, so you guys and girls be safe out there. Understand that there's people out on the road that have been drinking and what have you and distracted. So I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to get in. As usual, if you're out on the road and you're listening to me, shout out to you. Be careful. Like I said, so you guys and girls already know what to do. If you're new here to the Alert Zone TV, you're new to the live streams, check us out. Put us on your playlist. You got a long journey to go. Put us on. Just put us on repeat. Put us on playlists and go from video to video to video. We got over 800 wonderful pieces of information here. Sometimes we have fun out shooting. Sometimes we are in the lab. Sometimes in the headquarters here, and sometimes we out on the road. We be on location, so it just depends. Definitely, we're gonna do the same old like usual. We give everybody 5 minutes to get in, and then we'll start the topic. It is definitely shout out to all the gun tubers out there, to the content creators, but to the people that support us, and that would be people that tune into our content, whether they agree with it or not. But people that genuinely tune in to learn or put their input, like I said, none of us is above being corrected. Sometimes we may say things, we may not be accurate or what have you, but we're gonna have a talk about facts and opinions, because we have a lot of opinions in the gun tube sphere, not a lot of fact. Well, we have a lot of facts too. We're gonna have that discussion. So like I said, give everybody a couple minutes. As you guys can see, rest her soul. This was a shirt my mom had, Spider-Man. You guys know, for people who know me, I'm a big Marvel fan from way back when I was a young kid. So rocking my Spider-Man shirt today. Got the echelon with me. I can't show it on here on live streams because they'll get you for that. I hadn't been out to go do some shooting. I was gonna do like a little celebratory gunfire. When I'm done with streaming, if it's still light outside, maybe I might go to the public hunt land and knock a couple rounds off. I'll see. Might go out and hit the shotgun. Since Joe the Bigot love us having shotguns. But like I said, shout out to my brother Eyes and Ears Tactical. Also, I want to send a special thank you for your service to everybody that has and is currently or are planning to serve in the United States Armed Forces. Thank you for your service. And for those of you who are going to be going into that, thank you in advance. So we'll give everybody a couple more seconds to get up in here, and then we're going to start this live stream, get it going. So I see we got 10 people in here. Them lights ought to be up to 10. Let's get those lights up. The likes help the algorithm. So let's get into it. So I wanted to talk about firearms, facts versus opinions. And this was inspired because I was cruising the YouTube streets and I came across this little short of this 762 Greeno. He posted a video saying the top 5 worst guns. I looked at his list and the first thing came to my mind, I hope he means firearms that he don't like. I went in the comment section. I read a couple of his comments. Yeah, I can see why a lot of people was telling him, don't talk about guns ever again. The High Point, aka 50/50, aka You Bet Your Life. You guys and girls know what I think about the High Point. You've seen videos of me shooting my High Point. I've told you guys multiple High Point stories. I told you guys that I bought a High Point in 45 and I had to send it back so many times that they actually wound up sending me a goddamn 40, and I didn't know that until I got ready to do a video on my last channel. And when I showed up out there, I went to load the mag and the damn bullets wouldn't fit. Turn around, they had sent me a 40 even though I had bought a 45. He had that on there. He had that Sky SCCY, Sky, whatever you want to call it. Didn't have an issue with those two. But he had a FAMAS. Now, I'm not real familiar with the FAMAS. I read the comments and yeah, there's people have used them in military action overseas. And it's a bull pump and they swear by it. He had the Remington R1 or Remington 9mm there. He didn't say that he didn't like the High Point because it don't function. He didn't say he didn't like the Sky because it don't function. He said he don't like it because 12 and 13-year-olds where he grew up carried those. Tells you a lot about this guy. And lastly, he put the Beretta M9 on there. Now, let me make this clear. Let me state a couple facts about firearms. Anybody that says, and I was hoping that he mistitled this video, but from reading his responses to some people, I don't think he mistitled this video. Because he even said something about Glocks being the new Berettas or whatever. Let me make this clear. Anybody that says a Beretta M9 is on the top 5 worst list when it comes to functionality, you should never talk about firearms again. If you own firearms, you should be disarmed. You should be disarmed and your rights are to be stripped from you. That is pure blasphemy. Now, you guys and girls know, my boy Eyes and Ears Tactical, he's a Glock man. I know several people that are Glock people. I give the Glock community a lot of shit just because, you know, Glock is the most popular pistol in the world, especially the G19. I just give them shit. But at the end of the day, I would be silly to sit here and say that a Glock belongs on the top 5 worst guns when all it does is go bang. Glock reminds me of Tonka back in the days. Y'all young boys don't know nothing about that because they have y'all playing with baby dolls. They don't let y'all play with construction toys and guns like we did when we was kids. And He-Man and all that shit. When you walked in the store and you saw a Tonka truck, the only things we thought about in New Orleans was when it rained and throwing it off the second or the third story and knowing that it's still going to work. We ain't got to worry about it. When you walk in the store and buy a Glock, you buying it for one reason. When you pull the trigger, it's going to go bang. When you buy a Beretta M9, you buying it because, number one, when you pull the trigger, it's going to go bang. Number two, a lot of people like the design. So, me listening to this guy, I was like, I just hope he mistitled this video, but now there is one fact about firearms. Any firearm can malfunction at any time for any reason. Whether it be a part breaks in there, uh, sometimes they can malfunction because of a dud round. Sometimes they can malfunction because the owner doesn't keep the gun real clean. I went in the comment section and there were people that swore by their high points. Now, you guys and girls already know what I think about high point. Y'all have already saw in the videos I've done here um, my malfunctions with high points. Nevertheless, wait a minute, hold on one second. Okay. Nevertheless, I've had several malfunctions with my high points, but there was a guy that said if you keep a high point squeaky clean, it won't jam. You won't have no issues with it. I can't say that. I had one brand new out the box jamming on me. You guys know I told you the first 3 or 4 45s that I bought that they gave me in that warranty and high point. I had to send them back because even with a round in the trigger and the chamber, the damn trigger wouldn't pull at all. Literally, it was like it was always on safety. So I had to send it back. I guess they got tired of me sending the motherfucker back, so they sent me one in 40 caliber and told me shut up. And I didn't like that. Um, I paid for a 45, even if it's a malfunctioning firearm. Give me what the hell I paid for. Don't give me less. Another thing about firearms, that's a fact. If you can't get to it, it does you no good in a self-defense situation. That's a fact about firearms. Having a firearm you can't get to. This is why we here in Alert Zone TV and across GunTube, we preach accessibility. Always knowing if you have to fly for your weapon that you can get it. Another fact about firearms is for ladies. It do you no good if the gun is in your purse and somebody trying to take your purse from you. Or you getting into a fight with some chick. A fight breaks out and she's going for your purse. It does you no good there. Now, an opinion about firearms can be, well, this particular gun shoots better than this gun. Or this one looks better than this one. Or this one is just better. You can have an opinion about it that's not based in fact. But one thing that is pure blasphemous in the gun world is to say a Beretta M9 is on the top 5 worst list of anything. Even when you come to looks. Nobody can tell me a Beretta M9 looks that bad that it's got to be on the top 5 worst guns for looks. And then this guy said he didn't like the gun since he was a kid. He grew up listening to rap music and drill music is what his problem was. He grew up listening to rappers talk about a goddamn Glock. Because Beretta has been the sidearm for how many decades in militaries across the world? Hell, there's militaries that still carry the M9. You have former law enforcement, former soldiers. You go to them homes and they home defense weapon or their carry weapon is the M9. It's been in action movies like hell. The M9 was so bad back in the 90s. NOPD, when they would catch people with them legal, would take them from them. So I don't think this. I hope he mistitled that video. But as I said before, I read his comments, his reply to other people. If you're gonna do content, especially about a particular subject that is real popular, understand every genre of content has critics, and every genre of content have people that's been into that particular thing probably longer than you. It was a bad look on him for him to put. Like I said, I don't know about this FAMAS. I just don't know nothing about the firearm. But for him to put a Beretta M9 up there, even if his list meant the top 5 ugliest looking guns, to put a Beretta up there, that one, no. Now the only thing I've ever heard about Beretta is I believe it's the 22 or the 25, the one the single shot that pops up. People said that has malfunction, but the M9, that's on my list. Just haven't gotten around to it. So, how about you? What? Oh, my buddy, well-dressed tactical, reach out to me, man. Reach out. We need to talk offline. Well-dressed. We need to talk offline again. We have to email each other. Nevertheless, like I said, choosing a Smith & Wesson over a Walther is your opinion. Saying that both of them are not reliable, it's not a fact. And I want people that's getting into firearms, that's why when we talk about that here on this channel, we talk about the need for educating yourself, getting educated. That's why these content creators put this stuff out here. And the good thing about GunTube is we actually talk about something that we can go out and physically show you. We talk about firearms, and then you have channels where they're showing you. Here, the Alert Zone TV. For me, I'm just not a big fan of Glock. Not because the fact that it runs. I'm just not a big fan of it. I've grown on my journey to love Smith & Wesson more. I just like Smith & Wesson. You guys know I have firearms from a variety of different companies. So, I'm not one that's probably ever going to stick to one particular company because I like multiple calibers. So that's why. Nevertheless, I like Smith & Wesson. I like Walther. You guys know for a long time I said I wouldn't buy another 9mm that wasn't a Canon. And then I bought that Echelon. Well, I bought the the PPQ-5, the match. And then I bought that Echelon, man. And I'll tell you, goodness, I love that Echelon, man. I love my Echelon. A fact about firearms. If you don't put good ammunition in it, the motherfucker ain't gonna run. Another fact about firearms. If you don't get out there and run it, you don't know if it fucking works. An opinion about a firearm is that because it new, it's gonna run and you're not gonna have no issues. That's an opinion. That's not a fact. Even when we talk about how firearms look, the aesthetics, there's facts over opinions. When you come to the aesthetics, I don't care how ugly a gun might be to you, somebody else might actually like it. The high points. Believe it or not, there's somebody out there that really like high points. And I'm not just talking about for the money. I'm talking about they like the design and the look of them. I don't think much of them myself, Everybody's favorite first handgun is what I call it. 50-50, you bet your life. You guys know I rag on high point a lot. I would never stand in front of one, but you guys know I rag on high point a lot. But making sure you got the right accessories. A fact. If you stick the wrong caliber in a firearm, it ain't gonna go boom. That's a fact. If you're able to get it through, it might explode on you. That is a fact. But saying that a Beretta M9 is on the top 5 worst list, yeah, I'm of the mind frame like a lot of the comments I saw. He should never talk about firearms again if he means reliability, because he wasn't clear. His title said top 5 worst firearms ever. Oh, hold on. I got it right here. saved it so I can. Man, these fucking phones. Come on, shit.
Bro, is that a Taurus?
Yeah.
Alright, y'all, this is the top five worst.
Top 5 worst guns. And he puts the Beretta M9 in there. 7.62 Greeno. Holla at your uncle. Let me educate you, youngster. If you made a mistake, go back and make a video saying you don't like the aesthetics. I'm not above correction. People correct me in the comment section all the time, and I'm okay with that because it's still a learning process, and I learn a lot from y'all. But if you see this 7.62 Greeno, please take that video down or change the title of it. Top 5 worst guns you don't like, or top 5 ugliest. If that's what you want to base it on, fine. But like I said, I don't know anything about the FAMAS. But for you to put a Beretta up there is, and like I said, I saw your response telling somebody Glock is the new Beretta or something like that, and apparently he doesn't keep up with special forces, and which most special forces run Beretta, the 226, and what did they just go to the M17, M18s recently? So I understand he's a young fella, and when you're young, you probably base things on what you grew up around as opposed to what something actually is. And give you an example. I thought an SKS AK-47 was the greatest thing ever made until I moved to Iowa. And a range of not only, I already knew about other calibers, but a range of different firearms, just the whole thing was given to me in a different light. You understand what I'm saying? And I know he grew up in the Glock era with switches, but nah, dude. Nah. Don't people there's law enforcement, there's military, hell, there's people that's in the Second Amendment community hard that carry around the Beretta M9 for the EDC. So don't ever say that. Another opinion about firearms is striker fire versus hammer fire. The reason that's an opinion is what works for you. Compact, full size, just with that micro compact stuff. You got all these different sizes. Me, I prefer full size. But the fact is not that a full size is gonna always shoot better than a compact, because you just don't know till you get out there. One thing I know there's a fact is these guns are more accurate than us. You guys and girls know we don't shoot for accuracy on this channel most of the time, only because accuracy is in the beholder of the shooter. You can have somebody that's actively shooting the same gun, the exact same gun, and one of us at 100 yards can hit the target, and one of us at 5 yards so it won't even get on the paper. I've seen it happen. You guys and girls saw me with my Taurus G2 try to fire it with the gloves on, and I could not get that trigger to pull. That don't mean nothing was wrong with the gun, because there's somebody else that probably could have came out there and got it to shoot. So to say it's not dependable in extreme weather, I couldn't shoot it until I took my gloves off. So the gun went bang. It was just me, for whatever reason it was. I just didn't have the strength to pull it, I'm assuming. But nevertheless, just facts and opinions. Everybody have their preference. See, we can't get facts mixed up with our preference. You can prefer a particular firearm, and your opinion may be that it looks better or it's designed better or what have you. And then the fact could be that the one that you like may not be a reliable model. You might have got one of the bad ones out of the bunch. So I just thought that it would be good for me on this Independence Day to just address that. The fact versus the opinion. You know, like I said, everybody had their preference, and we can't get all those confused. Because even me, as not being a Glock fanboy, if somebody had a Glock put in one of the top 5 guns, whatever model ever made, I would never argue with that. Because Glock is known for their reliability more than they're known for anything else. Now, I know a lot of people talk about the aftermarket support that you have for it, but I'm talking about without the aftermarket support, Glock is known for going bang in some of the most adverse conditions. Period, point blank. It was rap culture, actually, that propelled the Glock to what it is. Now, notice Gaston Glock never did a endorsement deal with no rappers that I've ever heard of, and yet they put his product on the map. I understand it didn't start with us, but a fact is, once rappers got a hold of Glock, you can go back to the early 90s, and everything was Glock, 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 to the point that when people walk in a gun store, especially young folks, the very first thing they ask for is a Glock, and they don't know what model, what caliber. All they know is I want a Glock. I see it time and time and time again from young people. So, just to break that up, rap music helped boost the sale of Glock. Modern culture, modern urban culture helped produce that on top of Glock's reliable record, law enforcement and military and what have you. So that's why so many people now gravitate to Glock. Excuse me. How about you guys? What is an opinion that you have about firearms? Oh yeah, another thing that's a fact about firearms. We live in a time now where it's nothing to have a handgun that holds real high capacity. That didn't used to be the case. So, I'm gonna do a couple more minutes and I'll let you guys and girls go because I know today is a holiday and y'all out there barbecuing and rafting and swimming and whatever else y'all out there doing. But I just thought that would be necessary to come through and just talk about that. The fact, like I said, you can have a preference, you can have an opinion, and then there's fact. And the fact is, it's better to be legally armed than illegally armed. All right, we got White Rambo in the house. Man, do you have a YouTube channel? Because I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. I got you on Instagram. If you have a YouTube, put it in there so I can go subscribe to it. I can't call it, bro. I can't call it. Because out here trying to do a little bit of work. Like I said, I came across. Okay, you have two. Yeah, drop it in the comment section. After the video is over, after the live stream is over, you can drop it in the comment section. Or you can drop it in the comment section right now so I can promote it so people can come over there. Like I said, I was typing your name in and I couldn't find it. I do have you on Instagram, so yeah, I definitely love to get you some shine, man. Get you some love. You're very one of them supportive people. Oh, I wanted to send a very special Happy Independence Day to Dexter Army. That guy is a true gun to. We all owe him something. We ought to put together and get him a doggone big old care package for Christmas, cause that dude supports everybody. Yeah, man. Just let me know what the name of your channel is so I can get it out there. Another thing I'm gonna start doing. Just July, I told you guys the channel was gonna start growing. We getting close to 2,400. We 4 people away from that 2,400. trying to work out some sponsorships, but also purchasing merchandise from other channels. I'm gonna start getting back on purchasing merchandise from other channels and just supporting. Um, the Second Amendment community is a community. We're not in competition with each other. Everybody has their niche. Some people are fortunate enough that they have the infrastructure that all they have to do, all they do is shoot all day. Um, some people have the infrastructure where they can be in one particular low place. Okay, one particular place, and they can just talk. Okay, and then you gotta have places like this where we have life outside of YouTube, but we try and give you guys and girls the best content we can as often as we can. But I'm not in competition with nobody because there's enough room for everybody. So I definitely want to send y'all. Okay, hold on, I got that on my Instagram. Y'all give me just a minute. I'm gonna promote this channel because a lot of y'all that come here and support this channel, y'all promote. Okay. Okay, it's your YouTube at White Rambo Music, White Rambo USMC. Okay, for those of y'all who seeing this, go and subscribe to that. Our brother, White Rambo USMC, has a YouTube channel. Um, when I'm done this with this stream, I'm gonna go ahead on and my no tech behind. I'll find you. Now that I know where to find you at, I'll find you. I'll get you out there. But definitely, like I said, we just want to support everybody. Like I said, every channel has its niche. If this is something you passionate about, go for it. Just understand sometimes you may say things that may be wrong or people may have a difference of opinion. Engage with them so they don't feel like we feel we're above them. Anytime you see a response from me, it's not a robot. When I respond to your comment, that's me. I know sometime I might send a couple of 2 or 3 word response and that be that. I'm gonna try and get out of that. But at the end of the day, I want to engage with y'all because as I told you guys and girls, I've learned a lot from not only the comment sections, but other channels. And I'm not above being corrected. I had somebody chew my ass because I said my AR-15 was steel and he said it was something else, or I said metal and he said something else, and he went on and on about it. I was okay with that, I didn't have an issue with it. I think probably the worst comment I've ever had was somebody accused me of inciting violence against young people because he got in his feelings, and the stream was never about that. I asked a simple question because we talk about what's going on as it's happening. If you had to put somebody young down, could you do it? That's all I asked. And this guy accused me of inciting violence against children, and I would never do something that silly. But nevertheless, so you guys and girls just get where I'm coming from. Just shout out to Summer Shoots, my brother Well Dressed Tactical, White Rambo Music. I'm sorry, White Rambo USMC. Forgive me. White Rambo USMC. Eyes and Ears. William Fratelli, T Electric, Trey 57, Regular Gun Guy, That Guy with Guns, Autumn's Armory. The list goes on and on and on. Just understand, if you get into gun tubing, even if you just a person that want to learn about guns or you just like firearms, there's a whole different. It's a buffet out here. It's a whole different, wide variety. Uh, from people like Black Rambo, go. I'll tell you what. He's like that in person, just like you see him on camera, wired up. But he's a really good guy. He's very approachable, and he never thinks he's above anybody, and that is something I really respect about him. When I met him, he is what you see. But when it comes to those firearms, man, bro got some stuff. Um, Guns Are Us. That's another good channel to follow. If you want to learn how to like somewhat do your own gunsmithing, I know there's a lot of things here on YouTube that you have to learn how to get around with these silly YouTube rules that change all the time. But Guns Are Us, he does a lot of his own work. Go when you get a chance, you got some time, go and turn on his gun collection videos and sit down and watch him. And he'll show you what he did this, he did that, he did his own this, he did his own that. He's a really good channel to go to. You guys and girls know I love firearms so much that I'm constantly watching gun collection videos. When I have the chance, I got to get out of the habit of watching certain ones because, is it Mac? Yeah, man. You know what? It's a community. The 2A community. If you guys and girls start going to some of these events, man, it's a community. It's a community. But uh, was it Mac Million, North Carolina? I might be saying his name wrong, but I love watching him. Well Dressed Tactical. I must watch that once or twice a week just to hear him say, in 2025, it's a different business. I think he should coin that because just the way he put it out there. Some of the other videos that I've seen throughout the years, Guns Are Us and stuff like that. Because when I first got into firearms, I never thought about wanting to do upgrades to my firearms, parts and accessories. I was of a narrow mind frame when I moved up here. GunTube is what really changed my mind about putting optics on my pistols. Putting upgraded parts. I haven't got to customizing yet. I will a couple guns, but just doing having different accessories. At one time, Johnny Snow, okay, yeah, he got some stuff too. Flashlight. I never thought how important a flashlight on your home defense weapon was until I started watching GunTube. And somebody pointed something out. I had watched a video of a guy showing the difference in a cop that has a firearm pointed at a suspect with a flashlight in his hand as opposed to one who has a flashlight on his firearm. And I thought about it. If I ever went outside and I had a flashlight in one hand and the gun in the other one hand, to me, it's more control if I got the flashlight and the gun with both hands like that. So that made me say, okay, whatever I'm going to have as the very first firearm I'm going to grab in the bump in the night and have to go outside with, I'm going to have a light on. I don't have an O light. I ain't going to lie. But just things like that. Learning how to be a better shooter. Understanding that with the knowledge I already had of life, putting that with firearms, holsters and stuff like that. Because when I was younger, man, I ain't care nothing about no damn holster. Stick that shit in my damn pants. That's just that. I mean, just the tactical bags. All that stuff, man. I never thought about what if something happened and I had to grab a particular bag and go. If it's a shoulder bag, it may hold me down. If it's a backpack like the CPO Tactical that I show, man, I can do a whole lot of moving with that thing because it snaps. I ain't got to worry about it being on the ground. if I gotta jump a fence, if I gotta do anything like that, it's equipped. It, Second Amendment, and even like the preppers, people who talk about different things, put a lot of stuff on my mind, and then it made me think about everyday people in life. I did a video where I talked about if you had to grab everything and run out because the shit just hit the fan, let's just say here in America, and you had somebody that was oxygen or electricity dependent, would you put them down? And that made a lot of people think, because we always talk about if we got to get up and we got to go. We never think about that. If you have somebody that can't walk, if you have somebody that's deaf, if you have somebody that's blind, if you have somebody that have to be on oxygen. Hurricane Katrina showed something about how quick people had to up and leave, and then how the city didn't have services. That was a real life grab and go, and it turned out to be a disaster for a lot of people, because it's easy to speak about something until you got to go through it. And for those of you who don't know, when Hurricane Katrina hit, there was people that said there was things they couldn't grab because the water came in the house too fast. They went from seeing water come in the floor to the door busting open, or the windows about to bust open, or with that much of pressure on the window, people had to pick stuff up and bust the window to get out. And there's things they couldn't grab. I talked to people that unfortunately they had family members that were sick that drowned, or they had to leave them because they couldn't take them. So I put you in give you a scenario. Hell breaks loose. Right now, you gotta know we got this conflict going on in the Middle East. That one side is telling us to stay out of, and the other side is telling us they gonna go forward, whatever, and we better back them up. Let's just say hell broke out, we have to go. If you got an infant and a stroller that can't walk, if you got a 2 or 3-year-old, if you got a 5-year-old, you got a 10-year-old, and then you have your mom, dad, aunt, grandmother that can't move, how would you react to that? That's a real life scenario. And even in these disasters that we have, but how would you react to that? If one of your children was special needs, how would you react to having to put down your son or your daughter? Because you're going to get put in a position, if you got multiple children, you can't sacrifice everybody for one person. And it's easy to say what you would do until you have to do it. A lot of people, if my people in North Carolina right now, I haven't forgot y'all, especially out there in Western North Carolina. Y'all got put in a position. For those of you who don't know, some of them areas still don't have power after that hurricane. Some of them roads are still cut off. A lot of that supplies didn't get up there. Yeah, it would be a shitty scenario, man. It could happen. The possibility of it happening to us here in America because of a war is slim. Not saying it can't happen. It's real slim, because most countries know that the citizens armed just as much as the military are. But in a shit hit the fan situation, it could be a natural disaster. One thing I learned, I went through a tornado, 2018. I had never actually been somewhere where a tornado hit. I lived 3 blocks from where the actual twister went down Main Street. I worked. I was at work 4 blocks over from Main Street. The actual twister went down through the middle of the town, and it tore up everything in sight. But it was quick. The cold storage that we have at JBS, so we had got a hole with it. A lot of people got their roofs and stuff torn off. That was quick, and it was gone. But I saw the damage after. Now imagine that when it comes to a hurricane, because the difference about hurricanes and winter storms, and even these extreme heat waves, a tornado gonna do what it's gonna do and it's gonna go. That stuff lingers around. Hurricane Betsy, for y'all old people, you know that was before my time. Betsy and Camille, my mom, rest her soul. I remember my mom saying during Hurricane Camille, they was living in the St. Thomas Project and they had to come get a boat to come get them. When that stuff come around, that stuff lingers. That stuff lingers for days. So it's just things like that, that we talk about here in GunTube. Because even though what I talked about is weather related, you have to understand something. In natural disasters, that's when the opportunities come out. Here in Marshalltown, when we had that tornado, as soon as it was over, when the sun started going down, the thieves started coming out. One of the parts of town that got hit pretty good, law enforcement had to constantly patrol that area because it was dark and it was going in people's houses to see what they can take. You guys saw Hurricane Katrina on the news, and even no need for me to talk about what happened. There's a lot that went on that a lot of you guys and girls, it would be very graphic. If you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all know the Neville family. They're really a staple of the community in New Orleans. Aaron Neville, Charmaine Neville, their sister Ardell has been doing the news for I don't know how long. But I remember in the search and rescue missions, somebody snatched Charmaine Neville off the boat and they raped her. Took her to a school and they raped her. So when they say grab and go, sometimes it's only a matter of seconds. This is why we say if you gotta go, make sure you know where your firearm, have a dependable firearm you can grab if you gotta go out of the door. Because it was pure lawlessness. There would be shootings and things when the dark went out, when everything got dark. Unfortunately, I gotta say it. Law enforcement took the opportunity to take some people off the planet and hide behind it was all lawlessness. You guys and girls know I did a video about the Danziger 7 on the Danziger Bridge. So you can go check that out, or you can just Google it, the whole story about the Danziger Bridge. So just things like that, and channels like this, but other channels that really get you focused on prepping, it's good to visit, and it all ties back in, like I say, to the Second Amendment community. You just don't never know when things gonna happen, man, and sometimes you can have a warning and you still can't get ready for it. You just don't know. So that's why I say, we here in GunTube, nobody's in competition with nobody. Those of us who really love this. Now, I remember when the whole gun collection video became such a trend, you had two types of people. All right, what's going on, Carl? I can't call it. Just sitting here flapping my gums, sitting here chopping it up. We up to 9 likes, man. I appreciate it. I think I must be hitting home because everybody hitting that like button that's came through here so far. But when the trend of gun collection videos started, some people did it just to show what they had, and that was it. Some people thought it was a competition. Then you had people that would come in the comment section and say, "Why are you showing that?" And it's a Second Amendment community channel. Let me tell you something. Those gun collection videos has taught me a lot as far as people have wind up having the same firearm that I have, and they may have had the same issue with it and fixed it, or they may not have had that issue. Yeah, that's what we got. Y'all always be on alert. The best you can be. So, for accessories, good what's good matches as far as, even though it's an opinion, just putting different optics on your pistols and stuff, things like that. I've seen guys in collection videos. Some say they don't buy nothing but Holosun. Some people say they don't buy nothing but Vortex. Some people say that they're not gonna spend. I know a lot of people don't buy them Trigicons because they're very expensive. But just a whole bunch of variety of things you can learn from these gun collection videos from people that's really into the Second Amendment. Salute, happy 4th to you, Destro. Hope you keeping safe out there. Like I said to everybody, I just want y'all to be safe and make it home on time, in one piece. So, and I've passed my opinions, not critiques, my opinions about all right, what's going on, Eric Horton? About different guns in those gun collection videos. Cause some of them I had, some of them I was considering. So it's helped me. I take all this gun tubing as educational. Like I said, I'm not above being critiqued. As far as, I had a guy tell me he didn't like my channel because he didn't like the firearms I had, because I had a couple videos where I had malfunctions with my firearm. And he told me he didn't like my channel because it was garbage, and I need to buy better guns, and I need to go buy Glocks and this and that. And that was his opinion. And I didn't get upset about it. But I just kept moving. I buy what I like. And the one thing I'm not afraid to show you on this channel, that's why I don't edit anything. Everything you see on here is raw and uncut. Period, point blank. I've even been advised that I should do 4K and editing and all that. You know why I don't do all that? I'm on my tablet. It's got an old 80s, 90s VCR look to it. And that's what I like. That's what I want to keep my channel looking like back in the day. Because I'm at uncle status. So that way you'll listen to me more than you'll damn pay attention to me. And 4K, you're looking at me more than you're listening for a lot of people. So I want you to listen to what I say and digest it. This is the nutritionist channel. This is not the hamburger and french fries, the Honest Outlaw, Autumn's Armory, Black Rambo. That's hamburger and french fries. I'm the cauliflower and the Brussels sprouts. You don't get excited to see me. You might even have to hold your breath to digest me. But once you take what I say on this channel, you see it's good for the body, and it keep you coming back because you know you need it. Might not all the time, but you know you need it. And that's what I'm gonna stick to. That's what has worked for me. I'm gonna stay in my lane. But I continue to just show, because like I said, I always take this in consideration. Tomorrow somebody gonna be buying their very first firearm. Yep. Tomorrow somebody gonna be buying their first firearm. And I always think about when people are new to firearms, giving them a sense that go out and check this. If every video I showed you, I never had a jam with a firearm, I'm not being truthful. If I've had problems with that firearm and I just refuse to show it. You guys know my SD40 VE has been my home defense weapon and my going across the state line weapon for years. I have to take it loose and check it, maybe put a better firing pin in it. I've been having issues with it, and The last 2 or 3 times I took it out, you guys seen I had issues, so I just put it on the side until I get the chance to change the firing pin. And I done got the SD9 back out because the SD9 has never jammed on me. I've never had an issue with it. So um, you guys see, I did a video this week shooting my 300 blackout. It took me a while to find out what the first issue was. The first issue was with the Magpul magazines as opposed to the Amend 2. The Magpul magazines after I fire one run would come out. I put the Amend 2s in there and I didn't have no more problems. Now I had a ejection problem 2 or 3 times and somebody said I think I need a harder extractor spring or something like that. They put it in the comment section, so I'm gonna check that. Like I said, that gun was a build kit, so it might not have the best quality parts in it because I wanted a 300 blackout, and the pandemic had hit. And well, during the pandemic, you couldn't find shit because you had people who never shot a gun before trying to buy up the goddamn gun store. So and the prices had went through the roof. So I had already had a bunch of stuff before the pandemic, so I waited till that was over with. But just things like that. So I like to show you guys if I have a malfunction, and you girls, if I have a malfunction, this is what happened. Because some of y'all have given me advice and I've corrected the problem. Me and my brother Eisner's Tactical talked about it the other day, and he told me, change your firing pin. He said, check your firing pin because that might be the issue. And Big Ugly, my Ruger SR45, that's what wound up being my issue. I started having problems. I took it, went to the gun store, they put a better firing pin in it, and bam, it went right back to being reliable, you know. So that's why you got to get out there and constantly check your firearms, especially the ones you're going to depend on you carry. For a long time, every time I went to New Orleans, I had Big Ugly on me. It's only 10 rounds, it's 45 ACP, but I know when I pull the trigger of all the guns I own, I seem to do the best at the range with that. Out of every gun I own, that's the only gun that I've ever bought that, for whatever reason, out of the box, I've been able to be within that pattern of a 8 to a 10, pretty much every time I pull the trigger. And I love it for that, you know. So like I said, you know, that's just what we do here. We raw and uncut. We like everybody to see malfunctions when we try them. We like to see all that. We cover a wide variety of things that's Second Amendment related that you may not think that's Second Amendment related, but it's life related. Is sometimes race related and sometimes it's politically related. And at the end of the day, I always connect the dots. And if you'll just listen to my content to the end, even if you don't like the title, listen to it. And I'll always connect the dots and show you how one thing crosses with the other one, whether you like it or not. So that way, if you ever get into that situation, you know how to handle it. You know, I always tell you guys and girls, I prefer everybody to have a concealed carry permit because every state don't have constitutional carry. That's an opinion that, you know, you should have a concealed carry permit no matter what. One thing that is a fact, when you cross state lines, if you're in violation of their gun laws, 9 times out of 10, if they catch you, you're going to go to jail. So this is why I say have your concealed carry permit and know the laws everywhere you go, because all the laws are not the same, you know. Just knowing what's legal where you're going. I mean, something as simple as shout out to Dr. T. Make sure you go subscribe to Dr. T also here on YouTube. She was the one who told me, I think it's in New Jersey, you can't have hollow points. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So it's just stuff like that that you need to know. And depending on the cop, some of them will let you go, and some of them will take you behind the jail, man, and you'll be fighting a damn gun charge. You know, a lot of people became felons for going to New York City with a gun in their car that came from over the bridge in Jersey. They just forgot. They got stopped and they had a gun in their car. So just simple stuff like that. So that's why we do what we do. Definitely. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead on and let everybody get out of here. I just wanted to fall through and just talk about fact versus opinion when it comes to firearms. And because you don't like a particular firearm, doesn't mean it's not reliable. Um, as I'll say, is a matter of fact, when they go bang, I'm pretty sure these guns are designed to be more accurate than the shooter is. That's why, like I said, the accuracy is in the eye of the shooter and the beholder. But with that being said, understanding fact and opinion and preference is a good thing. You know, some people prefer compact size, the micro. I don't own a micro 9 and I don't think I'll ever buy one. I'm just not into that. Um, Compact guns, so. I prefer full size myself more. That's a preference. That doesn't mean that one will outperform the other one just because. That's not a fact. That's an opinion. But to say that a Beretta M9 is one of the worst guns ever, that's not a fact. That's a lie. That's blasphemy. That shouldn't be on your top five of nothing negative, whether it be ugly or whether it be reliability, because that's the only two things it can be on there for. It's reliable. It's been saved many a lives many a times. It's the reason a lot of us had entertainment. It kept people with a job. Bruce Willis in them Die Hard movies had the Beretta. You know what I'm saying? Um, with that being said, hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. We appreciate y'all tuning in on this special Independence Day live stream. I was thinking about doing something today. I wasn't sure, and like I said, I came across this 762 Greeno and that little video he put up, and that just made me say, you know what? We gotta understand the difference between fact, opinion, and preference. You understand that, you're gonna be okay out here protecting yourself, and buying something to carry with you that you feel comfortable with. Until next time, everybody out there, stay safe, stay armed, happy Independence Day, stay on high alert. Yeah.